Hi, this is Lane 8492. This will be my true crime story video I've done in a while. This is out this is out of a case that's in Utah. This is the case of Utah death row inmate Ralph Leroy Menzies. You see, Ralph Leroy Menzies is one of the few men currently sitting on death row in Utah at the prison outside of Salt Lake City. You see, Ralph Leroy Menzies, he was convicted of abducting and murdering a 26-year-old female cashier at a convenience store named Maurine Hunsaker. He robbed the place at knife point where he took her to a tree, which he tied her to and then brutally slit her throat. The crime was so brutal that the jury decided to sentence Ralph Leroy Menzies to death. He's been on death row for 37 years. And from what I have to say in this, justice is way overdue for the family of Maurine Hunsaker. Her son, Matt Hunsaker, wants the sentence carried out. His lawyers have been trying to keep Menzies from, the lawyers of Ralph Leroy Menzies have been trying to keep him from being executed, arguing that he has dementia and that his dementia is only worsening. But a judge found him competent, and now the judge has signed the death warrant for Ralph Leroy Menzies for September 5th at the Utah State Prison outside of Salt Lake City, Utah. Ralph Leroy Menzies has chosen to be executed by firing squad. If it's carried out, it'll be the third firing squad execution this year. There have already been 2 executions by firing squad up in South Carolina of Brad Keith Sigmund and McCall Dean Motti. And there have been 3 executions by firing squad in Utah since the reinstatement of the death penalty. The 2 who were executed by firing squad in South Carolina, as I mentioned, were Brad Keith Sigmund and McCall Dean Motti. And the 3 executed by firing squad in Utah were Gary Mark Gilmore in 1977, John Albert Taylor in 1996, and Ronnie Lee Gardner in 2010. Of course, Utah numbered the days of the firing squad that if that those sentenced to death before some specific date in 2004 must choose how to be executed. And of course, Ralph Leroy Menzies chose the firing squad. There's one other prisoner on death row in Utah who has also chosen the firing squad. His name is Troy Michael Kell. I saw a documentary on him 15 years ago about some prison gladiators. You see, Troy Michael Kell, he was serving a life sentence for a murder up in Nevada and was sent to a Utah State prison as part of some prisoner exchange. And while serving his life sentence at a Utah State prison in Provo, Utah, Troy Michael Kell joined a neo-Nazi gang, the Aryan Brotherhood, and during a riot in his cell block, Troy Michael Kell and another Aryan were caught on video stabbing another prisoner named Lonnie Blackman. And yes, Lonnie Blackman was black and Troy Michael Kell was white. And of course, the other Aryan, Eric Daniels, he was serving a few months for check forgery after he had forged the sheriff's name on a check. Now he's serving his life sentence in New Jersey State Prison as part of some prisoner exchange. Being that Troy Michael Kell was already in prison for the rest of his life, and that Troy Michael Kell fatally stabbed another prisoner, Lonnie Blackman, that put him on death row. And he's chosen the firing squad. Of course, last year, Utah executed Tabarin Dave Honey by lethal injection. That means now in Utah, there have been 8 executions there since they brought back capital punishment. As I mentioned, the 3 by firing squad were Gary Mark Gilmore, John Albert Taylor, and Ronnie Lee Gardner. And the 5 they executed by lethal injection were Pierre Dale Selby, convicted serial killer Arthur Gary Bishop Jr., William Andrews, Joseph Mitchell Parsons, and Tabarin Dave Honey. Of course, Tabarin Dave Honey, He was Native American. He was convicted of the sexual assault and murder of his ex-girlfriend's mother, Claudia Ben, who was also Native American like him. There are still many others on death row in Utah, and there's one other who's exhausted all of his appeals named Vaughn Lester Taylor, but a date of execution hasn't been set for him yet. Well, hope you enjoy this video and let me know what you think. Thanks.